Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being genuinely well-informed. Today, we are immersing ourselves in the return of a critical darling, Delhi Crime Season 3.
It's great to be back, and this series, it's so much more than just another police show.
Oh, absolutely. It's an Emmy winner. It really set the standard for the modern Indian crime drama, all centered on Shefali Shah's incredible performance as Vartika Badi, Madam Sir.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission today is to really get into the core conflict of Season 3. It's all about this dark nexus of trafficking and power.
Right. And we also need to talk about the villain, because she's so brilliant that she kind of forces you to question the entire system of justice.
Yes, exactly.
So this season is 6 episodes, directed by Tanush Chopra, and it's a huge shift in focus. It's not one single terrible crime anymore. It's a systemic nightmare.
And the way it's shot feels different, too. Much more raw.
Very raw. It's got this handheld, almost documentary feel to it, which really forces you, the viewer, to witness the massive scale of human trafficking. It's not just happening in one city, it's operating across state lines.
Okay, so let's set the stage a little. Vartika Chaturvedi, our hero, she's not really in a good spot when the season starts.
No, not at all. She's been handed what they call a punishment posting.
Which is basically when you're sidelined, right?
Yeah.
Sent somewhere less desirable to kind of push you out of the main action.
Exactly. A sign you've annoyed someone important. She's been exiled to Silch in Assam, but of course the crime finds her anyway.
It always does.
Her team stumbles on this truck, and it's just full of girls. They're being transported like cargo, all destined for the labor markets in Azadpur, Delhi.
And that just immediately shows you the scale. This isn't a small-time operation.
It's an entire supply chain. And at the same time, back in Delhi, her colleague, DCP Nidhi Singh, is on a parallel track.
Played by Rasika Dugal, yeah. And her investigation is, it's just deeply disturbing.
It's horrific. The show gives us 2 converging cases. There's a really subtle one about a bride being swapped out at her own wedding in Haryana.
Which points to marriage trafficking.
And then there's the real gut punch. A 2-year-old girl is found abandoned at the Ames Trauma Center with just terrible injuries.
And that abandoned baby case is where the show really grounds itself in a real-life tragedy.
It does. It pulls directly from the agonizing 2012 case of baby Falak. It shocked the entire nation.
So this is where the series goes from being a crime drama to really a commentary on society itself. Tell us about that real tragedy.
So in January 2012, a toddler is brought into Ames Hospital by a teenager. The teenager claims she's the mother and that the baby just fell off a bed.
But the doctors knew that wasn't true.
Not even close. The medical evidence was a horror story. A broken skull, both arms broken, bite marks all over her body, and brand marks from a hot iron.
It's just unimaginable cruelty.
It is. These were injuries from torture, not an accident. The hospital staff named her Falak. And despite everyone's best efforts, she died after 56 days.
And the police investigation that followed.
It opened a Pandora's box. This one awful incident led them straight to a massive organized human trafficking ring that had tricked the child's biological mother.
So the show uses the suffering of one single child to expose this huge systemic problem.
That's its structural genius. It leads right into the sociological point the show is trying to make, something Vartika says herself.
I know the line. It's crushing.
She says, "No one misses missing girls." The show basically argues that this trafficking system thrives as a direct result of patriarchy and capitalism in India.
The conditions are just ripe for it.
Exactly. We even see Nidhi and another officer discussing it, how girls in India are trapped. The choice is often between being sold into sex work or sold into marriage.
Either way, they're trapped.
That's the brutal reality.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the face of this whole horrifying system, the antagonist.
Right. And while Shefali Shah and Rasika Dugal are amazing, as always, this season really belongs to Huma Qureshi.
Absolutely. As Meena or Badi Didi, she is just unforgettable.
What's so compelling about Badi Didi is that she doesn't see herself as a villain at all.
Not one bit. She frames herself as part of that capitalist ecosystem we were just talking about. She's a ruthless businesswoman. She understands that in this system, women are just assets, commodities. She preys on vulnerable girls escaping poverty or abuse, and she promises them a better life.
But she delivers them straight into exploitation.
Labor, marriage, the sex trade. To her, it's all just business.
And that twisted logic is what makes the final confrontation in the last episode so explosive. Vartika finally corners her.
And this scene, it's the climax of everything. Badi Didi is desperate, just desperate to tell her side of the story. She tries to justify everything she's done by pointing to her own horrific past.
She claims her own grandmother tried to kill her as a baby.
Her and her twin sister, yeah. In boiling milk. She talks about an abusive marriage. Her argument is basically, the system made me this way. I'm just playing by its rules.
So she's a victim who became a monster. Vartika listens to all of this. But a lot of critics felt the ending was a bit too neat, too filmy.
That's the big tension, isn't it? The show does a great job of showing how Badi Didi is a product of exploitation, but Vartika is the law. She is justice.
And justice has to be served.
So Vartika listens to this whole agonizing confession, but in the end, she shoots her. She just says her personal motto, Jo sahi hoga wahi karungi, I will do what is right.
So by having the hero basically execute the villain, it feels like a shortcut. It resolves the plot, sure, but it kind of lets the system off the hook, right?
I think that's a fair critique. And it ties into another one, that the show has this uncritical reverence for law enforcement.
You mean it portrays the Delhi police as heroes without really questioning the institution?
Pretty much. Critics have pointed out that Vartika is always the hero, while protesters or civil society groups are often shown as these, misguided, fickle mobs that just get in the way of good police work.
It avoids the harder questions about corruption inside the system itself.
It does. And speaking of missed opportunities, there's the whole storyline with Vartika's daughter, Chandni.
Oh, right. She's a journalist.
Yeah.
That felt like it was going somewhere important.
Exactly. The daughter of a top cop covering crime. Think of the conflicts of interest, the moral contradictions. It could have been a brilliant way to critique the system from within, but the show just drops it.
Yeah, that was a shame. But for all the darkness, the show does end on this one small, tearful glimmer of hope.
It really does. It's what Delhi crime does best. It brings it all back to the human element.
Tell us about that final scene.
We see Kushi, who's the mother of the baby inspired by the Falak case. She's being taken to a women's shelter. She looks at Vartika, this hardened cop, and asks her, "What do you even see when you look at me?"
A woman who's been through hell.
And Vartika, with tears in her eyes, just says one word, "Umeed." Hope. It's this tiny moment that suggests redemption is still possible, even in a world this bleak.
So, to wrap this up, Season 3 gave us these powerhouse performances and a truly relentless story about crime and societal failure. And Badi Didi is, she's the perfect human face for that evil.
She is. But if we take a step back, the story ends when the ringleader, Badi Didi, is killed. Problem solved, right? But we just established that she was a product of the very system, the poverty, the patriarchy, the corruption, that she was fighting against in her own twisted way.
Right.
So that leaves you, the viewer, with a really big question. Does taking out one single ringleader, no matter how dramatic the arrest, actually fix the deep foundational problems that created her in the first place? What's the next layer of the crime that you need to think about after the credits roll? It's not about the spectacular arrests. It's about the systems that make them necessary.